After breakfast the next day, it was time for our Bucharest guide, Livia, to show us the sights, including this pleasant green zone. The Military Museum, the 17th century Church of the Patriarch, and the enormous House of the Republic.
The streets of Bucharest are very reminiscent of Paris, wide boulevards. And is there a direct connection with France there?
Well, France, in their political system, they agreed with the unification of the country in one state. And that's why, in a way, we had a friendly attitude towards France. And that's why the culture from France entered the country.
And even looking towards the Houses of Parliament, it does look like the Champs-Élysées.
Yes, it looks like Champs-Élysées. It's a boulevard right in front of the House of the Parliament, which is wide as Champs-Élysées.
How big is the House of Parliament?
Well, the House of Parliament is the second largest building in the world after the Pentagon. Okay. And some details, it goes up to 86 meters and down underground to -25. And it also has some underground channels that connects it to the private house of Ceausescu, the palace of Cotroceni, and to the house from where the revolution started. Because Ceausescu was afraid, and in case of attack, he would have this place for escape.
But how many houses were destroyed to make way for this great monolith?
An entire district of Bucharest was destroyed to build this House of the Parliament and all the buildings surrounding it. Yes.
How do Romanians feel about the House of Parliament today?
Well, today their impression changed a bit. Exactly after Ceausescu started building it, they were pretty sad about it because there were high taxes put on the people in order to get the money to build such thing. And when it was finished, everybody was, oh, this is ugly. Why did we build this? We don't need it. Well, nowadays, it's the House of the Parliament. The Deputies' Chamber is there. And we have also international press conferences in the halls there. So each hall can be rented for a certain price by foreign companies and so on. And of course, the building functions also as a museum. And it seems we found a use for this building in the end. And nowadays people go and visit it, and every tourist say it's wonderful and impressive.
So you turned a folly into something useful?
Yes, it seems so.
By evening it was a time for a relaxing farewell to Bucharest dinner with a colourful Romanian folkloric performance.
In the middle there is mustard. We debate together with mustard. No, it's not very hot. Excuse me. We should get some
So as we said goodbye to Livia and Bucharest, we welcomed our guide Nick, who took us to a typical traditional village where during the communist period villagers were encouraged to become self-sufficient by creating what they called a kitchen garden.
Here is the master of the house. Belonged to the former colhouses, collective farms.
Thanks to our Romanian friend Adrian, who was running a company in Sydney, our next visit was a real treat. He had asked his parents if we could make an arrangement with them to host a lunch for our small tour group in their Romanian home. And it was a very memorable experience, starting with the offer of a glass of their 50% proof home-brewed plum brandy called Suica.
Here's my sisters.
Suica.
Well, you've only got to look at Mr.
Yes. Narok.
Rock.
Okay, well,
How is it, Malcolm?
It's got some punch in it.
yeah.
Just take it slowly.
So,
Oh my
well,
God.
that's very
Oh, Sue, did you try it?
I sure did.
And?
Oh, oh, it certainly will. Oh, wow.
that burns on it. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I can tell it's hitting the roots of my hair already.
Yes, Tom?
Yeah, what's your verdict?
Tom probably doesn't like anything like that.
Mouth to mouth?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, yes. Any excuse.
One specialist gave me a tonsillectomy.
Oh my God.
Just about.
Now watch Nick.
Nick?
Please remember the word is no rock. No rock. No rock, more or less.
All right.
You want some salt?
Firewater.
Yes.
Ah.
That's actually.
The son Adrian said I had to give her a hug
Da,
for him.
fiul nostru Adrian a spus că trebuie să vă pupe în numele lui.
Da,
For Adrian, yeah.
Be fair dinkum.
No, I suppose, and he said
Dar mie nu mi-a spus așa
I
ceva.
should shake your hand. However, because you're giving me the wine, I'll give you a hug too.
Amazing what a career this American imported corn.
American.
Yeah. I mean, it came to Europe, as you remember, as late as the 17th century, the corn. Germans.
Part of the main course was a famous Romanian skinless sausage called
This
mitite.
terrible cry came from the direction of the kitchen. Boss, we have no more skin for sausages. And the demand was at its best, I mean. And so the boss, in desperation, said, make them without skin. That's how they were born.
The little ones, the mitite.
Our guide Nick was an amazing person for our group, and he was to lead us through the rest of our tour in Romania. His full name was Nicolae Paduraru. He was formerly with the Romanian Ministry of Tourism, but at the time of our tour he was the president of the Transylvanian Society of Dracula. So I knew he could explain why there was some confusion about Romanians having two Draculas.
The first vampire films were shown in Romania in 1992. Yet, there have always been a group of people, about 50 or 60 of them, who knew about this Dracula, both Draculas actually, as early as 1960. Who were they? Historians, interviewed by their colleagues in the West, the whereabouts of Vlad the Impaler Dracula, 15th century.
Okay, let's separate these two figures right
Yes,
now.
let's do
One's an historical figure and the other one is a methodical.
Well, To better understand, let's consider the genesis of Dracula. Bram Stoker, the Irishman, was very much influenced by another vampire story written before him by Sheridan Le Fanu. The title was Carmilla. The story was set somewhere in southern France. Carmilla was, of course, a vampiress.
Oh, right.
He loved this story so much that the first form of Dracula was really a pastiche of Carmilla. The story was set in Austria. The title of the novel was not Dracula at the time, it was The Undead, and the name of the count was simply Count Vampire. Then his friend said, Bram, you are going to get into trouble, you are too close to Carmilla, so he let it aside. Then, months and years later, he learned about Transylvania. He liked the sounding of it. He went to the British Museum and said, give me everything you have on Transylvania. So these maps and albums and books, research came on his table. He got familiar with the story of Romania, and from among the many princes of Romania, he liked the sounding of Dracula. Mind you, at the time he finished the novel, he never heard yet of Transylvania and Prince Vlad the Impaler Dracula. It was a little later. Then he said, what does Dracula mean? Devil. Ah, that's my man, he said. So he crossed Count Vampire and said, Count Dracula. He crossed Austria and put Transylvania inside. And then he looked closer on the map and put it into the Borgo Pass. He could have put it anywhere, the story would have been as good, because what he actually did, he put a literary cloak over an archetype, the archetype of fear.